Hello and welcome to Metis. My name is Ava Shirley and this is my urban refinery project. Metis is a speculative response to how our affluent society, which increasingly champions a superficial notion of recycling, might integrate industrial infrastructure within urban settings to enable dual-purpose community benefit. Traditionally an urban periphery, Metis challenges why waste is sited out of mind. It's the site in red, located at the car park at Market Town in Newcastle West. The land historically has been left underdeveloped due to its original wetlands that once existed. It's at a junction of city grids, making the site even more unusually shaped. It sits at the threshold between two supermarket conglomerates, a Westfield on the right, a Woolworths on the right and a Coles on the left, and is at a crossroads or entry point to the city. In 1939, the Sulman Award-winning incinerator project was built in the immediate vicinity. Metis's proportions and ratios are a conversation between the interior processing systems and the original chimney stack of the forgotten incinerator. While waste would come in and be released into the atmosphere in the original incinerator, Metis closes the loop by refining plastic waste and then repurposing it. Newcastle is a city reliant on its car. The primary reason for driving is for shopping and recreation. A ramped drop-off point, which on the model is here, ramp at the top, makes dropping off plastic recycling and earning one's rebate a simple addition to the routine of the weekly shop. The tower is a piece of city infrastructure. It exists to perform industrial processes, but in an urban setting it must also provide amenity to its surrounds in a way that shielded warehouses do not. As the tallest building in Newcastle by over 70 metres, Metis is the city's water tower, its clock tower. Like any machine, its systems are paramount. Metis delivers sustainable initiatives due to its vertical form that the expansive warehouse cannot. The tower in the incinerator was just a conjugate. However, the tower in this building contains a complete system where through an operational platform there is movement in and out. It makes use of gravity and the stack effect to filter water and air simultaneously. The added height pushes the wind turbine to a zone that benefits from greater wind speeds. The minute floor plate allows for replication in other constrained urban sites. The thermal reticulation system benefits from the large surface area of the southern facade to assist in cooling. The air filter and workspaces occupy the same floors, each with the orientation best suited to their purpose. Nat is going to now show us something. Maybe? Is it there?
There's no signal there.
We'll see if she gets it going, but I'll tell you about these facade panels. These smart panels are printed from the plastics refined on site and form an evolving facade. As the inner laboratory spaces test their product suitability on site in situ, and the retailers store excess product, the skin takes on a role that is engaging. Movement and systems reflect the machine. This ongoing process confronts the bland ubiquity and conformity of the neighbouring Goliaths, whose warehouse architecture diminished the urban experience and environment simultaneously. The smart panels offer varying levels of translucency to reveal the contents inside. Light is diffused within during the day while achieving an overall glow at night. At a human scale, the journey begins with an ascent from the bitumen car park up to a reclaimed green zone, with the tentacles of which extend over the car park and create shade over the hard, hot surface. A contracting stair reflects the journey of refinement of plastic. It wraps around the body of the podium to demonstrate the potential of 3D printing as the diffuse light filters down through a damp-lawn ceiling. The inner workings are without exception on display. The super-industrial nature plays up the process and beautifies the system.
I knew it was taking too much power.
You should still explain because it's very beautiful.
Yes. Don't know if you can see in there, but this is actually the basement level where larger scale trucks would come in and out and dump large amounts of waste. So the entry point to this is through the Coles loading dock, and then the exit is through the Woolworths loading dock, so that we have no interference around this building, but the ground plane here is for people. These 4 women are AIA judges. They didn't have any men in the panel in the future.
And they're all wearing architectural black.
They are, yeah. And these are pneumatic tubes where you place your plastic when you've driven your car up, and they go all the way up and fall into this plastic hopper, and then the system percolates down slowly. There's a large air filter in this gap here, and also a whole series of other community functions, including a theatrette, ballet classroom, laboratories. They're spaces that can be adapted by anyone and for any use, because this is for the people of Newcastle. And when this goes back on, we can pan all the way up the section and you can have a look at that. So let me just go back and start that again. The size of the exposed aggregate in the in situ core varies in response to the level of plastic processing on the same level. Coloured piping alludes to different functions for the uninitiated, but for the informed it is a necessary code. In some ways, the most violated system is human circulation. It must shift as veins around essential organs. A series of routes continue upwards to the tower, exposing the refinery process from waste to repurposed. It moves past laboratory spaces, a nursery for filter plants, direct-to-market packaging zone for local producers, community hall space, composting centre, a theatrette, and to the underside of the vast plastic holding hopper and creek reservoir at the top of the tower. You feel feeble as a visitor, and you get an impression of the huge quantity of waste that this region produces in a single day. The journey is episodic and can be orchestrated to surprise and contrast. Here is not a very nicely pixelated image of construction drawings and how a plastic facade panel might fit on to the facade. At the top of the tower, you have reached the lookout post. The public makes an exciting and multifaceted journey upstairs and is rewarded with a beautiful view over a changing city. Metis provides a realistic examination of social behaviour and the social behaviour of consumption that is ultimately destructive. It is a technologically optimistic approach that produces a back to the future result. Metis, the Greek goddess of cunning and wisdom, whom was in part responsible for the downfall of Zeus, speaks of cunning and trickery, but also of seeing and seizing the particular possibilities imminent in a particular context. In the study of Metis in Greek culture, Jean-Pierre Vernard and Marcel Dertin wrote, "Its field of application is the world of movement, of multiplicity, and of ambiguity. It bears of fluid situations which are constantly changing and which at every moment combine contrary features and forces that are opposed to each other."